You've probably heard it your entire life. Walking is good for you. It's one of the most repeated health recommendations in the world, yet also one of the most underestimated. Because it seems too simple, most people dismiss it as something basic, a light activity you do when you don't have time for a proper workout, something optional that doesn't really create meaningful change. But that's where the misunderstanding begins. Walking isn't low-level exercise, it's one of the most fundamental biological movements the human body is built around. A consistent daily walk doesn't just burn calories, it influences deep physiological systems. Research shows it increases cerebral blood flow and supports neuroplasticity through proteins like BDNF, which are directly linked to memory formation and brain resilience. It also helps regulate the autonomic nervous system by lowering chronic cortisol levels and shifting the body toward a parasympathetic recovery state. On a metabolic level, walking enhances glucose uptake in skeletal muscles through insulin-independent mechanisms, improving blood sugar control and reducing long-term metabolic risk. Even at the cellular level, it supports mitochondrial efficiency, improving how your body produces and sustains energy. The surprising part is this: most people already walk but never experience these benefits. Not because walking is ineffective, but because it isn't done consistently enough for the body to register it as a meaningful biological signal. In this breakdown, you'll see exactly what changes inside your body when walking becomes a real habit, not motivation, not hype, just science made simple. And it may completely change how you see one of the most powerful health tools you've been ignoring. Number 1. Walking physically changes your brain. And this is where the science becomes genuinely fascinating. Deep inside your brain is a region called the hippocampus. You don't need to memorize the name, just understand its function. It's responsible for forming memories, learning new information, and maintaining mental clarity. As we age, the hippocampus naturally begins to shrink, and you've probably heard it your entire life. Walking is good for you, and this shrinkage is strongly associated with memory decline and neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's disease. For years, this was thought to be an unavoidable part of aging. Then, researchers started studying something surprisingly simple: walking. In a widely cited study, older adults engaged in moderate walking, around 40 minutes per session, 3 times per week. After 1 year, brain imaging revealed something unexpected. The hippocampus had actually increased in size. In other words, walking didn't just slow down brain aging, it supported structural brain growth. Number 2. Walking reprograms your stress response. Stress isn't just psychological, it's deeply biochemical. When you experience stress, your body releases cortisol, a hormone designed for short-term survival. In acute situations, it's helpful, but when cortisol remains elevated chronically, it begins to disrupt multiple systems in the body. Sleep quality declines, fat storage increases, immune function weakens, and baseline tension becomes the default state. Walking interrupts this cycle. Many people live in a constant low-level stress state without even noticing it. They wake up already tense, immediately reach for their phone, and within minutes their breathing becomes shallow and irregular. By the time the day officially starts, their nervous system is already in a heightened state of alert. Walking breaks this pattern. A steady, rhythmic walk naturally activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for calm, recovery, and restoration. The repetitive left-right motion creates a predictable sensory rhythm that signals safety to the brain at a subconscious level. Number 3. Why walking improves thinking and problem-solving. Walking doesn't just calm the brain, it enhances cognitive flexibility. In controlled research from Stanford University, participants were tested for creative thinking while seated and while walking. The results showed that walking increased creative output by roughly 60%. The reason lies in how the brain reallocates resources during movement. Prolonged sitting, especially under cognitive pressure, reduces cerebral blood flow efficiency and reinforces linear, rigid thinking patterns. In contrast, walking increases systemic circulation, improving oxygen and glucose delivery to the brain, which supports more dynamic neural activity. Number 4. How walking stabilizes blood sugar. Every time you eat, glucose enters your bloodstream. Insulin's role is to transport that glucose into cells where it can be used for energy. Over time, however, many people develop insulin resistance, meaning cells stop responding efficiently. As a result, blood sugar stays elevated for longer, energy crashes become more frequent, and the body begins storing excess glucose as fat more easily. Walking directly improves this process in a surprisingly efficient way. When your muscles contract during walking, they begin absorbing glucose from the bloodstream and using it as fuel. This uptake happens through pathways that are largely independent of insulin, which means your body can regulate blood sugar even when insulin sensitivity is reduced. Research has shown that even a short 10-minute walk after meals can significantly reduce post-meal glucose spikes, sometimes more effectively than a single longer workout. Performed later in the day. Number 5. How walking builds real energy at the cellular level. Inside every cell are mitochondria, often referred to as the body's energy-producing units. Their job is to convert nutrients into usable energy. When mitochondrial function declines, fatigue becomes persistent, even if sleep and rest appear sufficient. The issue isn't simply recovery, it's cellular energy production efficiency. Walking plays a direct role in improving this system. It stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis, the process by which the body creates new, more efficient mitochondria, while also supporting the removal of damaged or underperforming ones through cellular quality control mechanisms like mitophagy. Unlike high-intensity exercise, which can temporarily elevate stress hormones, walking enhances energy production in a low-stress, sustainable way. Number 6. Gentle, rhythmic movement increases abdominal circulation and stimulates peristaltic activity, allowing food to move more efficiently through the digestive tract. This is why light walking after meals has been consistently recommended across different cultures and medical traditions for centuries, not as a detox, but as a way to support normal physiological function. Number 7. How walking strengthens the heart without overstress. A common misconception is that cardiovascular improvement only comes from high-intensity exercise. However, large-scale epidemiological studies comparing habitual walkers and runners show that when total energy expenditure is matched, walking delivers comparable benefits for cardiovascular health. Regular walking is associated with improved endothelial function, reduced systolic blood pressure, and better lipid regulation, including lower LDL cholesterol and improved HDL balance. Importantly, it achieves these adaptations without significantly elevating cortisol or placing excessive mechanical stress on joints and connective tissues. Number 8. How walking improves breathing and oxygen efficiency. Walking also enhances respiratory efficiency by engaging and conditioning the primary breathing muscles, particularly the diaphragm and intercostal muscles. With regular exposure to this low-intensity demand, the body becomes more efficient at oxygen uptake and carbon dioxide exchange. Over time, this leads to improved ventilatory efficiency, meaning you use less effort to achieve the same level of oxygen delivery. Many individuals notice a reduction in breathlessness during everyday activities, along with smoother, more controlled breathing patterns. This improved oxygen utilization contributes directly to reduced fatigue and greater overall endurance without requiring high physical strain or recovery demand.